Hello and welcome. James Preston with you on 𝐊𝐶 TV, live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Mid-Market Pulse. Let's get started with the mid-market commentary for today and see how the ASX 200 traded by lunchtime. The ASX 200 is trading higher by 99.8 points or 1.38% at 7,335.1 during the mid-market session. Earlier today, the index balled the day in green at 7,235.3 and surged to hit an intraday high of 7,343, rallying as much as 1.5%. Today's strong show followed a bloodbath in the previous session when stocks suffered broad losses amid looming concerns about a sooner than expected rise in US interest rates. The ASX recorded its biggest fall in a month on Monday and closed 1.81% lower at 7,235.3. The Australian share market rebounded strongly on Tuesday, recouping most of yesterday's losses, led by a rally in energy, financial and telecom stocks. The domestic market followed strong global cues after Wall Street closed higher in overnight trades. Investors seem to have accepted that interest rates will gradually rise with recovery in the global economy. On the sectoral front, 10 of 11 sector indices are flashing in green, with telecom and realty stocks gaining the most. The telecommunications service sector is the best performer with 2.1% in gains, followed by AREITs, which gained 1.82%. Materials, energy and financial are also among the top gainers, rising over 1.5% each. Utilities, consumer discretionary and industrial sectors also surged over 1%. Bucking the trend though, healthcare is the lone loser, trading lower with 0.4% of a loss. In the banking space, all the big four lenders, Westpac, CommBank, Australia and New Zealand Banking Group and also NAB are all trading higher. Commonwealth Bank of Australia rebounded over 2% with share prices crossing Australian $100. The lender's shares have dropped over 5% in the previous session after it announced the sale of its Australian General Insurance unit. CommInsure General Insurance to the South African insurer Hollard Group. In a similar fashion, ASX-listed energy stocks are in an upbeat mood, owing to higher crude oil prices. Crude oil prices soared on Monday due to a pause in the much-awaited decision on the revival of the US-Iran nuclear deal. August delivery of Brent crude oil futures are trading 0.32% up at US $75.10 a barrel, and WTI crude oil futures for the August delivery quote at US $73.20 per barrel, up 0.11% as of the 22nd of June. Snapping previous session losses, index heavyweights Woodside Petroleum and Santos are both trading in a positive terrain. Let's now turn our attention to today's top gainers and losers so far. Australian metal and mining firm IGO is the top percentage gainer on the ASX, rising 5.8% to $7.49. Some of the other top performers are Pilbara Minerals, Chalice Mining, Reece Limited and Worley Limited. Conversely, buy now pay later giant 𝐧𝐞 is the top loser on the ASX, falling 2.7% to Australian at $7.99. Westgold Resources, Appen, JB Hi-Fi and Treasury Wine Estates are among the other top laggards. And now, before we take a look at some more ASX stocks making the news today, we'll take a very short break right here on 𝐊𝐶 TV.
This is Andy Liu broadcasting from 𝐊𝐶 Media Studio in Australia, and I'll be hosting the new 𝐊𝐶 Wellness Show. The half-hour show will cover topics from how wellness as a concept has become even more significant during COVID, to how becoming vegan may improve your health and much more. We are excited to showcase our live streaming show to our audience of millions overseas and in Australia. Tune in to 𝐊𝐶 TV and join me.
Thanks for joining us on 𝐊𝐶 TV. James Preston with you live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Mid-Market Pulse. Let's focus on some shares that are in the news today, and we'll start with battery anode company Talga Group, who announced that they've inked a deal with Nordic battery maker Freja to supply Talga's Swedish active anode materials. The material will be used for Freya's battery cell production under development in Norway. Talga and Freya are dedicated to jointly testing and potentially looking to develop large-scale, sustainable and competitive solutions to help boost the development of local Nordic supply chains for production of clean, low-cost batteries. Following the announcement, shares of Talga rose 2.13% to Australian $1.44. Moving on, and Tesserent gained as much as 12.2% to 23 Australian cents on the back of an upbeat forecast. The cybersecurity services provider said it will comfortably exceed its prior ambition of annualised turnover run rate of $150 million based on the turnover for the month of June annualised. The company also stated it is now expected that the annualised turnover basing for June will be around Australian $180 million. Meanwhile, shares of OpenPay Group rose as much as 12.41% to $1.58 after the company stated it will acquire Payment Assist, a buy now pay later provider to the UK automotive sector, for £11.5 million. The transaction includes an earn-out component of up to £17 million, with completion expected to occur in the first half of the fiscal year for 2022. Moving on, and Milton Corporation shares jumped to 16% to $5.81 after the company announced that the firm will merge with Washington H. Soul Pattinson and Company via a scheme of arrangement. The merger will help in the creation of a leading and more diversified Australian investment house. The focus is to continue long-term market outperformance and growth in dividends. It will help Milton to have a significant step change in market capitalisation of approximately $11 billion, with an increased index participation. Shifting to our favourite yellow metal, and Antilles Gold has announced high-grade gold intercepts at La de Majuaga gold silver deposit in Cuba. The intercepts have 17 cored holes, 14 out of which have been analysed to date. Silver is also evident in numerous intercepts, and boosted by the development, Antilles Gold shares rose 24% to 8.1 Australian cents. And now let's take a look at this next share. Prominence Energy updated today that it signed a binding term sheet to acquire 20% of Patriot Hydrogen. The agreement is still subject to completion of the company's due diligence and shareholder approval. Patriot itself has secured its second order for one P2H unit with Sweetman Renewables Limited as well. The sale will take place for one unit at the cost of Australian $2.9 million. By delivering this in Q4 2021, Patriot Hydrogen will earn revenue for technology licence fees, service and training fees. It will also receive a gross sales percentage fee for the hydrogen, biochar and power sale. Next up, Nevare Minerals announced that its share purchase plan was oversubscribed on Friday the 18th of June 2021. The company received total applications of about $4.9 million over the targeted amount of $2 million. As a result, Nevare Minerals has elected to increase the size of its share purchase plan. Funds raised for the share purchase plan, together with $10 million raised from its recent placement, will be used to accelerate its strategy of growing in the Storwell corridor. There's still more news to come in the Mid-Market Pulse, including news regarding one of Australia's major 4 banks, but first we'll take a very short break on 𝐾ALKINE TV. Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
sectoral coverage or industry news,
we cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
with 𝐾ALKINE TV.
Welcome back, James Preston with you live from 𝐾ALKINE Studios in Sydney, and this is the Mid-Market Pulse. Let's now take a look at some more trending updates by the mid-market trading. Shares of Commonwealth Bank of Australia rose over 2% to Australian $100.08, pairing some of the previous session losses. The stock had fallen over 5% on Monday after the lender announced the sale of its general insurance business. CBA, one of the 4 premier banks of the country, has signed a deal to sell its Australian general insurance unit, CommInsure General Insurance, to the South African insurer Hollard Group. The deal includes an exclusive 15-year strategic alliance with Hollard for the distribution of home and motor vehicle insurance products to CBA's retail customers in Australia. Moving on, and Little Green Farmer has informed the exchange that it's acquired world-class, fully operational GACP cultivation and GMP licensed medicinal cannabis assets in Denmark. This plant has a capacity to produce in excess of 20 tonnes of biomass per annum, including 12 tonnes per annum of dried cannabis flower. And just before we take a look at the Asian markets, Silk Laser Australia has shared that the company has now successfully completed a fully underwritten placement to raise $20 million, which will result in the issue of approximately 4.7 million new shares. Silk Laser is one of Australia's largest specialist clinic networks, offering a range of non-surgical aesthetic products and services. Taking a look at the Asian markets, and they are trading higher in their opening trade, tracking overnight gains from Wall Street. Japan's Nikkei is the top performer in the region, surging as much as 2.5%. Seoul's Kospi rises 0.55%, and the Straits Times Index in Singapore trades flat with a positive bias. Also, China's Shanghai Composite rises 0.3%, while Taiwan's weighted index climbs 0.85%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng drops 0.2% in its opening trade. On Monday, Wall Street closed higher as investors shrugged off inflation worries. The Dow Jones rose 1.76%, and the S&P 500 gained 1.4%. The Nasdaq Composite also climbed by 0.79%. Well, that's all for now, but keep on watching 𝐊𝐶𝐞 TV as we bring you the latest news and trending market updates live from Sydney. 𝐊𝐶𝐥𝐿 will be with you next for a very exclusive chat with Matthew Morgan, Editor-in-Chief at fitat60.com. Can't wait for that one, but for now, I'm James Preston signing off from 𝐊𝐶𝐞 TV.